My name is Evan. In the last 6 months, I've made over 6 figures trading cryptocurrency meme coins. Yes, dog coins, cat coins, frog coins, you name it. Even Chill Guy, I made a substantial sum trading off of from that TikTok meme. And I'm going to show you how to do it completely for free today in this video. I'm also going to show you how I would do it if I lost every single dollar and had to restart again from zero. Yes, from zero, you can get started trading crypto meme coins in this space today. If you follow crypto or have seen any of the countless YouTube videos all over the timeline, you have seen crazy P&Ls in this space, life-changing generational wealth. And I'm going to show you today how that is extremely possible trading meme coins. However, be aware, you can also lose thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. I've seen multiple wallets go from 0 to 1 million and then back to 0, blowing it up off of another meme coin because they did not master the 5 steps I'm going to explain to you guys today in this video. The last thing I want is for you to become yet another trader that leaves crypto with a bad taste in their mouth. This is an amazing space. Crypto is not just meme coins. However, it's the hype and attention of this cycle. And I do believe we have a lot of time left to capitalize and take advantage of what's going on in this space. Now, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the 5 steps to go from beginner to master, from 0 to 100 in this space, starting with the first step of how to set up and fund your wallet or your trading bot. The second step is going to be how meme coins work, the narratives, what coins to look into, how to know whether a coin is a potential runner or not. 3, how to enter this coin, how to find strategies that allow you to find the best entry points and to see whether that coin has already ran, if it's going to run, or if you're able to scalp and make a little bit of profit. Step 4, my exit strategy, how I'm going to leave that coin. Do I full clip it? Do I sell in small amounts? How do I maximize and make sure I have a small batch for the future? And then with step 5, how to find smart traders to trade with, how to trade with a group, how to trade with me on that end. So keep watching. This video is going to change your life. We're trading cryptocurrency meme coins. By the way, if you want daily picks and profitable trades, I do have a free Telegram channel linked below in the description of this video where I'm a lot more quicker. It's a lot quicker than YouTube. I'm able to send out my tweets and information a lot more quicker and able to hop on trends on other meme coins I'm looking at actively, as well as trade with me completely for free. So make sure you check out the link in the description. Let's get into this video. Okay, step 1, how to fund and set up a wallet, or in this case, a trading bot. In the crypto space, we're going to use tools called trading bots to help us facilitate meme coin trading. These tools give us an edge in this space that allows us to be quicker than our opponent and giving us an overall trading speed. Now, over time, these tools are going to adapt. They're going to get bigger. They're going to get better. Okay, and they're going to give you more incentives. And you'll see as you're meme coin trading, we're going to move from bot to bot. Now, right now, as you're watching this video, the #1 trading bot to use is right here on the first of my links called Axiom Trade. You can find it right here. Once you click on this, it'll take you to a page called Axiom Trade, and you'll be able to start trading meme coins right here. Now, in the description, you'll find this link, which is from my main link, evanrobles.com. On evanrobles.com, you'll find the TG chat I was talking about earlier and a button called Meme Coin Links. Once you click on Meme Coin Links, it'll open up a page that'll take you to all the verified links for trading bots. Now, I stress this 100%. Now, I can't stress this enough, but you want to make sure you are clicking and using the right links. I've seen too many people get scammed, lose all their crypto from phishing links, clicking on the wrong bots, using the wrong bots that provide this airdrop or that airdrop. There are millions, there are thousands. This is crypto. You have to assume someone is trying to take it from you. Now, it's not that hard. Honestly, it's the people that don't take it slow. They go fast. They think in FOMO. They think they're going to miss out on a coin. So they're like, oh, we got to move the soul ASAP, quick. That is the quickest way to lose. There is a runner every single day in this space. Calm down, relax, and watch this video. So the first one is Axiom Trade. Once you go over to Axiom, you log in and you can click Start Trading. So I'm going to do that real quick. Okay. Now that we're logged into Axiom, you can see your user ID, you can see your rewards level, you could also see when you last logged in and your referral link, right? The referral link is huge, okay? Before we even start trading, I want you guys to go ahead and create a name for yourself, okay? And if you're gonna be trading, maybe posting your trade somewhere, doing anything, okay? Make sure you set that and put it in a link in bio or somewhere. I don't know, just put it somewhere if your friends wanna get in trading. This link will allow you to earn Sol or Solana passively, getting you some of your fees back, essentially allowing you to make money. A lot of traders in the space will, if not make as much as they do trading, off of referral fees. This is called farming. 100% something you should do, and something that always needs to be done every single time we are using trading bots in crypto. It's free. It's 100%. I don't know why you wouldn't do it as soon as you got started. Second, in the settings, you're going to see a tool right here called recovery key. You do not want to share this with nobody. This is going to be your private key that's going to allow you to access this wallet. This is important if you want to access this wallet on other crypto wallet platforms and soft wallets like apps on your phone or even ledgers or other devices. This is important if you don't want to be on Axiom the entire time in order to manage your crypto. Now, while you're meme coin trading, this doesn't matter, but in the future, if you want to export or use it somewhere else, you could either, one, withdraw the Solana, your profits, or two, import the private key somewhere else. So you can manage it on your phone. After that, in this section, you could manage your other wallets. A lot of people like to either have, dedicated wallets for this trading pair or that trading pair or this category. I keep it simple. I just have one wallet. You can see your P&L. It's a lot easier to manage, but if you want to be able to move maybe Solana into another wallet, designate it as profits, you can do that. And then we're going to get to the rewards tab. Now, it's very important you understand this. Right now, I'm at a 4x rewards. What does that mean? Because Axiom Trade is the latest trading bot right now, that means you'll be able to get benefits being early. Every other trading bot that comes out and launches likes to give incentives and rewards for people for using the platform. In this case, Axiom or Axiom Pro is giving you Solana back. One of the easiest ways to learn about your trading bot is on the bottom right to click a button called the docs, right? Most of these trading bots have a doc that explain everything from referral programs, reward systems, how to buy crypto on the platform, finding tokens. I mean, everything that you could ever want is there. Staking thing, it explains all of it. So you don't have to usually, end up watching hundreds of videos or whatever. It explains the referral system. If you refer somebody, how much percentage you get from them. And then if they refer people, how much percentage you get from them and the people they refer. Also, something important you should know is that how do these trading bots make money? A lot of people don't realize, or they don't look into the fine print of things, and they just want to get started trading in crypto. They'll maybe buy $100 worth of a coin, sell it, make $120, and then they sit there and realize, wait, why am I only in profit up $10, $11, $12? And that comes to the fees using trading bots. Now, yes, in the long term of things, in the grand scheme of things, these fees aren't going to matter when you're trading meme coins, especially at a high level like we do. In fact, using this trading bot, we actually would want the fees. We want to use this instead of trading by ourselves because we'll make way more off of the trading bot's features versus the fees. So do not worry about that. In this case, Axiom's commissions are based on their 1% fee, which is pretty standard with most trading bots. If we go back to my affiliates page and I show you all my meme coin links, you'll see that Photon, Nova, Bolax, Good Morning, Good Night, BonkBot, honestly, all of these guys all implement a 1% fee, which is honestly standard in this space. So don't think they're trying to scam you or anything. That's just normal how it is. Now, the part you want to know about is right here. As you're using Axiom, as you're trading, you're going to have rewards. These rewards come from trading fees, meaning you'll receive cashback in Solana based on your multiplier tier. The higher multiplier, the greater cashback you have. Up to 0.25% back on fees at the highest level. No other trading bot is doing this at the moment, which is why people love Axiom. The interface is amazing. We're going to get into that. And on top of that, you're going to be able to get the most Solana back trading these meme coins. I've already seen so many people on X, including myself, get back multiple Solanas just from trading. And that would have been Solana we lost in X trade or so trade. So I pretty much see them as free trades. Honestly, free shots, which is amazing. But Wood, 1x, your net fee, cashback 0.05, all the way up to champion, where you get 0.25%. And this is based on how much SOL you trade, as well as how many people refer under you. Now, it's also important to remember that the earlier you are to these platforms, the better rewards and tiers you're going to get. Okay, so I was able to get on Axiom early, which gave me an advantage, a benefit over everyone else going slowly there. So, whenever you see a new trading bot or everyone sees start to move over, I love Axiom and I think we're going to stay here for a while. But just in case we're ever to move over anywhere else or see other people start to pick up a new one, like lightning, I'm going to sign up. I'm going to get started on that one ASAP because it's only going to help me. And it's very simple. You just sign up, put your username and password, whatever you want to do. And right then and there, you already have an account ready to refer people. Now, one of the best things about Axiom is the fact that you can trade not only meme coins, but also perpetuals and other cryptos as well. It is not just a meme coin trading platform. But in order to do that, we first have to fund our wallet. Now, since the majority of meme coins are traded on the Solana blockchain, we're going to be using a cryptocurrency cryptocurrency called SOL, ticker symbol SOL. Now, you've probably heard of Solana from last cycle. It was notoriously known for dropping all the way down to $8 during the FTX crash, and has risen all the way up to 300 since when it reached its all-time high in January earlier this year. So in order to do this, we're going to go to our top right of the screen, and we're going to see our wallet balance here. You're going to see Solana also, as well as stablecoin dollars, which allows you to swap between Solana and dollars. So whenever you're, let's say, not very bullish on Solana, but you are trading in Solana, after every trade, you can swap it back into stablecoins. So it's not like you make, a double X or 2X on a trade and you end up losing it because Solana went down in value. That is a really real thing. I made a lot of money in December trading in Solana. And what happened was Solana dropped all the way from 260 all the way to 220, 200. And I wish I stabled a lot more than I did. Now, in order to deposit Solana on Axiom Pro, it's very simple. You're just going to click the deposit button, and there's multiple things you could do. One, you could get your deposit address right here, and you can buy Solana on a centralized exchange or a SEX. Pretty much meaning you can download Coinbase, Kraken, Uphold, pretty much any exchange that sells Solana to you, and usually connect your bank to it or credit card, and you're usually able to buy Solana. If you don't know how to find those, what you can do is on a simple website like CoinGecko, you can find Solana or CoinMarketCap, and you go to a tab here called Markets, and it tells you pretty much everywhere where Solana is sold. So we see Binance, Coinbase, Mexi, OKX, BitGet, 2Bit, Bybit. Well, these are pools, but Bybit, KuCoin. There's hundreds of exchanges, probably hundreds, where you can go ahead right now and buy Solana, and then pretty much just withdraw off that platform to Axiom using your deposit address. You'd copy this, you'd go to another platform, you'd click Solana on your portfolio, withdraw, and then paste this deposit address right here. And so since Solana is a very efficient blockchain, it wouldn't cost you any fees in terms of withdrawal fees. You'd pretty much get the exact same amount in Solana, assuming the price was the same. You could also convert Solana. Let's say you don't want to send Solana over. In Axiom, you can convert USDC, right? You would also be able to have to deposit USDC on this platform. I say deposit Solana. It's very easy. It's a lot more simpler. Then once you have USDC, you can then figure out how to do that. They do use native Solana for USDC on Hyperliquid. The minimum deposit is 6 USD. Yes, I would just do Solana. With Solana, you could probably deposit a cent. And then if you wanted to, you could just buy Solana on Axiom Pro itself. They are partnered and powered by Coinbase right here. Let's say we wanted to buy maybe half a SOL, which would be about $80 right now. We'd go ahead and click buy. It would then take us to a Coinbase payment terminal. And then you'd be able to either go ahead and pay with your Coinbase account or put in your name and card number and buy it right here. It's super easy. It's extremely simple, honestly. Most trading bots do not have this feature. Now, once you have Solana deposited on Axiom Pro, you can now join the meme coin trenches. What are the meme coin trenches everybody talks about? On Axiom, to get into the trenches, you're gonna click on a tab up here called Pulse. Another trading bots like Photon, this may be called Meme Scope. On Pump.fun, you may see it on the homepage as the newly created, the graduated pair. What are all these things? Now, the Pulse tab or the trenches allows you to see all the new coins that are being created, all the coins that are about to hit the bonding curve, which I'll explain in a second, and all the coins that have migrated and have finished the bonding curve. Now, the new pairs tab is pretty simple. It shows all the newly created coins on the Solana blockchain right now, and it gives a lot of details and a lot of things to look at as a trader. Now, this tab is very, very important if you're meme coin trenching. This is where you're going to find all the runners, $10 million, $100 million runners before they became the runners. You're going to find coins sub 60K market cap. You're going to find coins that are at 2K market cap, 4K market cap. This is one of the dirtiest, nastiest places to be in the trenches, but it's also the best place to get those crazy 100x gains. And now what we're going to do on the new pairs is we're going to play around with the filters. But before we do that, I'm going to show you what the final stretch is. So on Pump.fun or token creation websites, there is a bonding curve. What this means is once the coin reaches a certain market cap, it leaves that platform the coin was created on, for example, Pump.fun, and it gets sent out into the total of the Solana blockchain. Now, in simple terms, it just means that coin is now available and easily traded by everyone on the Solana blockchain. They don't have to be on that platform anymore. Now the token can get listed on other exchanges. It's very bullish and bearish on certain cases. It can be very bullish and bearish depending on the coin, the dev, and the team. Now, this final stretch category will allow you to see which coins are about to break that bonding curve right here by looking at the market cap. You can see right here, 53K market cap, 50K market cap, 48K market cap. Now, the bonding curve market cap of 100% depends on what price Solana is. Usually, the higher the price of Solana, the more in market cap that coin has to reach to hit that 100% bonding curve. And then once it reaches its bonding curve, it ends up in the migrated tab. Now, on this tab, you'll be able to see which coins have, one, migrated, and have also haven't died out yet. This is also very important because once a coin is migrated and is usually accepted by the community, and more people start to adopt and buy into this coin and starts to build a cult-like community, if almost in the crypto space, you can start to see coins run. So you can find runners on every single category. Now, of course, you'll see the most pairs, the most garbage, on the new pairs tab, which is why we're going to add some filters to it. Now, here are some very simple filters to get started. You're going to see here immediately that you can change the filters on all three categories: new pairs, final stretch, and migrated. Right now, we're only going to change the filters on two: new pairs and migrated. Now, protocols is where it's going to be feeding all these newly created coins on. Now, when Memecoins got started, it was generally pump.fun. This is where everyone went to create coins simply because how easy and accessible it was to create coins, essentially. It was only like a couple of bucks literally to pretty much launch your own coin. And it was just very easy for just narratives to get launched. It's actually so funny because most people would go to pump.fun and the news pairs tab to be able to actually front run the news. Like, we'd actually see news events happening. I'm not going to say which, because most news is negative and bearish most of these days, but we were able to see like crazy events happening just by the amount of tickers and coins being created that people were trying to make money off of than the news outlets themselves, because they have to verify, confirm everything. Social media is just way faster, in my opinion. Now, in this case, for the protocols, we're going to be using Pump, Moonshot, Launch a Coin, Launch Lab, Bonk, and Boop. Now, this changes over time depending on the market. Right now, Pump is the number one. Launch a Lab, Launch a Coin, Boop, and Bonk. These are other coins that have created other like coin creation platforms similar to Pump.fun, like Bonk.fun and all that stuff, etc. So there's always going to be, you know, depending on the protocol and the users and the community behind it, there's always going to be 1 to 2 runners on these platforms. It's good to take a look at them while they're trending, and right now they are, so which is why we have them on. But in the short term, you're going to find out where the majority of coins come from, and right now that's still Pump.fun. Now, you're going to see the keywords category here. This doesn't really matter. I wouldn't actually use this at all. Memecoins could be absolutely anything. You'll see in the left, Ansem, you know, random digits or whatever, right? Tom, ECD, like there's just so many. So don't be using keywords or anything and all that. That's not going to really help you. Bonding curve percentage. Now, you can use this. However, I don't see the point. There are many filter strategies out there. And in my Telegram, I'm constantly dropping new filters I see. Or if I find a runner, I'll tell you how I found that runner. Strategies change all the time. Right now, to get started and to simply just make profit, I wouldn't touch this. But these all determine the price and health of a coin. Now, the age of a coin also matters. For example, most of these newly created coins obviously are very young in age. They were just created. A coin that was made, you know, maybe 2-3 months ago, unless it was relative to a news article today, it probably wouldn't bounce or touch. And at that point, some team may come in and buy all of it up. So that's something we're not really going to look forward for. So age, for minimum, we don't really have to change it. For maximum, we could put a couple days, but usually won't see that on this tab at all. Some coins are bundled, some coins are not. Bundling pretty much just means that all the supply is controlled by a cluster or group of wallets, and they were designed this way so the average person wouldn't see that this cluster was controlled by, you know, one person or one group. For example, you'd have 20 wallets and they'd each own 1% of the supply, 20% bundled supply. Or you'd have 20 wallets and maybe one wallet owns 0.3%, the other owns 0.7%. Right? And it's just in constant random orders that makes it seem like they're natural wallets, but they're usually not. These platforms like Axiom Pro are really good at detecting it. They can actually see the source of a wallet, see if other traders are using maybe a trading bot, or if they're just using like a protocol, like a, how should I say it, an undefined bot. Pretty much meaning people that are using coding platforms and softwares to generate a bunch of wallets and work that way. And it'll usually put like a question mark or a symbol behind that and saying that, you know, that it's not a regular user. This is a generated wallet or bot. Now, once we are done choosing all of the protocols, we're gonna go ahead and go to the audit section. I'm not gonna touch anything right here for now. In the future, as you're trading meme coins and we start clicking on these coins in a little bit, it's already gonna show you automatically how much are the top 10 holders, you know, holding, the age of the coin, dev holding, snipers, insiders. I wouldn't put any limitations or filters on this because this is something you could look at and kind of make mentally. If I did this right now, I guarantee you would probably get rid of almost all these coins, and that just doesn't make any sense. Now, you'll see over here on the left already that they're already, all green, all red and stuff. So you usually be able to see already, and then depending on that, you'll decide how much you want to ape into the coin. But for right now, for the audit, we're not going to touch these filters. Now, what we are going to go to is metrics, right? You'll be able to change liquidity, volume, market cap, etc. Now, honestly, there are like hundreds of coins coming out, not hundreds, thousands of coins coming out every single hour on Pump.Fun. And to usually get rid of a lot of the noise and garbage, you want to go over here to something called market cap, and you want to put this just a little bit higher. Any coin that breaks anywhere from like the 6 to like 10K market cap, I would say has potential to grow, right? And you also get rid of all the, sub 6K market cap garbage coins that are never going to break that area. So we can go here, put in 6K, 8K, whatever number you feel comfortable with. Volume, you don't really have to mess with right now. Liquidity, on the other hand, not really. Usually when these coins are launched on this platform, all the liquidity is already like managed by that platform already. And when it gets bonded, liquidity will already be locked and burned, etc. It's not like launching a coin on Radium, which you do by yourself, create your own pool, etc. Now, let's get to number sells, wouldn't touch, number buys, wouldn't touch, transactions. You could. I've seen a lot of people put this as a filter. Over time, if you want to implement it, you can. But right now, you want to get a feel for it, so I wouldn't touch it. Just market cap at 6K. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this, but you do not want to click the CA ends in pump. You do this, there's no point of all these protocols. For example, a coin that was created on Bonk is going to end in Bonk. Okay, a coin that's created on Boop, I assume it's going to end on Boop. So if you do CA ends in pump, you're just limiting all the coins that are created on this platform. So don't do that. So we got metrics, 6K, socials. It doesn't matter. I mean, yes, it's more legit when a project has a website, Twitter, Telegram linked. But when these coins are created, generally, the dev doesn't have to do that. There are many runners where this wasn't created until after it was bonded, after it was a CTO takeover. So I wouldn't necessarily put that on yet or actually utilize this at all unless you have a very specific strategy you're using. But this is fine. And in the migrated category, you could mess with the market cap, volume at this stake, transactions. This will probably be something where you want to have transactions on. But right now we're going to have zero filters for this. So let's apply all. Okay. And now we're starting to see all the new pairs coming up. Now we're going to look. You'll also notice that when we hover over each of these categories, it freezes. It allows us to look at it. Now on each coin, you're going to see a bunch of information that's going to allow you to make a percentage. Now, once you hover over one of these coins, you're going to see a lot of info that pertains to the token. For example, you're going to see right here, the top 10 holder percentage. This one's at 41%. That's extremely high. And it just dropped again. That means they sold off. Then you have dev holding. You also have snipers, insiders holding, and bundle holding. This is all information you're going to use to determine whether you're going to get rugged or not. Usually, when all of these are above 20% on any coin, there's a lot of risk. Okay? So you got to do a little bit more research. It doesn't mean it's a scam or rug yet, but just assume there's someone controlling a large portion of the supply that you do not know and you don't trust. Meaning, you need to have proper risk management. If you go ape into a coin and put in 20 SOL and all you have in your wallet is 20 SOL, and let's just say there was an insider that had 20% and he dumped and he caused it and then everyone panic sold and now the coin's a rug, that is your fault. Now, it's important to note that when you hover over the screen, everything is paused. Now over here, you'll see how many holders of the token are, the pro traders, dev migrations, the website of the coin, the link. If you click this button, it will search it on X for you already, as well as all the previous ats that were determined with this coin as well. Now, you'll also notice over these coins, there are other buttons as well, indicating how many holders there are of the token, how many pro traders there are, dev migrations, also the search button showing that when you click on it, it'll automatically search up the CA on X for you, showing you who's tweeting about it, who's talking about it, have any calls pushed it out yet. Now, it also shows his previous ats that were on the account. So, for example, you could see whether a coin is using multiple X profiles on that specific ticker. Now, if that's the case and you see, X coin, T coin, D coin or whatever, you'll notice that if you go ahead and look up all those coins, those are all rugs. A lot of devs get lazy. They like to use the same X accounts to launch different meme coins and hoping you won't realize that. Now, a lot of alpha groups, a lot of platforms will introduce a feature that will allow you to see how many X accounts have changed their username, which is huge in finding out whether a coin is going to be a planned rug or not. Usually if it's a fresh X, fresh dev, all of these, usually if it's a fresh X profile, a fresh dev, there's a less chance of a rug. Now on the right, you can see how many transactions there are, buys and sells, the volume of the coin, and also market cap. But yeah, that's essentially how you see all the information on the new pairs tab. It gives you everything you need in order to go ahead and click on a token. Now you see the market cap, the volume, the transactions. Right here is a button that allows you to quick buy things. Now, obviously I'm not going to click it, but once you click this, based on how much SOL you have set for it in the settings, you'll be able to go ahead and immediately buy that token. You can also go ahead and change the button size. So if you're someone that's really taking into account the size of your screen and monitor, and in terms of how quickly you can ape into certain coins, this would be a really great feature to edit and change. And you pretty much just click on display right here, and you can go from small, large, large. You can show the search bar or not. You can show hidden tokens or not, circle images, progress bar, all pretty cool things, honestly. Spaced tables if you want, it gives you a little bit more space, all things that don't really matter at the end of the day. Personally, I like the bar versus the ring because I constantly have to move my eyes around this. It's just easier to have the bar. And then you can also customize the rows in terms of market cap, volume, all these things, etc. Now, that's the display settings. You can come here and also go ahead and blacklist certain devs, CAs, keywords, and websites. I'd only do this if you probably got rugged by a dev and you're able to get the CA and he's constantly using that. It's just easier and simpler, just in case you wanted to maybe quick buy or turbo ape into something and you realized it was the same dev. Now, there's also snipe settings as well, and we're going to get into that in a little bit about what is slippage, priority, bribe, as well as your regular preset settings, which we're going to get into in a little bit. Now, on the top right, it's where you can edit your quick buy amount. So if you put in, let's say 0.4 Solana, or in this case, we'll just do 0.1, you'll be able to go here and then click in that button right here, and it'll show you how much you're buying of that token in that moment using the turbo buy. Now on the top right, this is where you'll be able to edit your quick buy preset. So for example, you want to maybe quick buy 0.1 SOL into the coin. You go ahead and type in 0.1 SOL right here and then click this button and it'll immediately buy in 0.1 SOL. Now it could fail depending on these settings right here. Now on the bottom, you'll be able to see multiple features: the wallet tracker, a Twitter tracker, and a P&L tracker. Now, as you're trading, you're going to want to have your P&L tracker somewhere on the screen. This allows you to see at the end of the day how much SOL, how much dollars you are up. It does reset if you want it to. So let's say maybe you're down on the day and you don't want to see it, you can refresh it. Also, if you're up on the day, I've also noticed it refreshes on itself as well. Earlier, I had it up a little bit, and I see it's back on 0 now. So you can go ahead and see the history right here. Now on the bottom, you have other features like your P&L tracker right here, your Twitter tracker, as well as your wallet tracker. Two of these are going to be extremely helpful, which are going to be your P&L tracker and your wallet tracker. The P&L tracker is pretty simple. It just tells you how much Solana you have, what's the dollar, what's that amount in USD, as well as how much Solana you're up, and dollar amount in USD. And it's pretty cool. You can change it. You can make it look a little bit different. You can go ahead and make the background blur. You can change the opacity of it so it's see-through on the screen. You can change the background image. You can swap this and that if you want to. This is pretty important if you want to start flexing your P&Ls on X and the timeline, as well as you can also generate P&Ls for certain individual coins as well. That's the P&L tracker. The Twitter tracker is pretty simple. You just put in a Twitter handle or X handle, and it just will give you X amount of tweets coming out from that person or not. I don't find it that helpful or useful. I was tracking Elon Musk for a while, and he was just coming out with just so much garbage on the timeline that had nothing to do with crypto. It was just very distracting. So I don't really use this Twitter tracker at all. If anything, I would say other chats and channels Twitter trackers where they have a list of known coals tweeting, that's a little bit better, right? If there may be crypto coals that are constantly just trading all day, every day, maybe that's where Twitter tracker comes into play. And you can find those ads in other groups online or just searching X yourself. And then you have the wallet tracker. Now this, I think, is one of the most important things on Axiom and what a trading bot can have, because you'll start to notice over time, as you're trading coins, there are going to be certain wallets that are consistently up in profits for the month. And there are many ways to find this. If you want, I could have a dedicated video explaining how I find certain wallets. But once I find a winning wallet or a wallet that piques my attention, I can go ahead and add it over here to the left and give it a name. For example, Cup Wonk, Smart, Greg, Paperclip Trader. This was actually a wallet that I found trading a coin called Paperclip, and he was up a lot of money. And I noticed he also made other good trades. So what I would do is I'd simply just copy the wallet, put it into my wallet manager, my wallet tracker, name it Paperclip Trader so I know where I got it from. And then I'll start seeing what he trades, what he's going into. And you'll see literally seconds ago, minutes ago, you have Cupsy and Greg constantly trading. I found so many coins, and I've gotten entries in so many coins just off of literally copy trading Cupsy. Now, there is a little bit of a danger to popular wallets. They know they're being copy traded, they know they're being tracked, and they know, for example, Cupsy will know that if you get into the coin DSTU or whatever, he'll know all of his followers, all the people tracking his wallet are going to want to follow him into it. And so he'll make money just off people aping in right after him and then selling. So you have to be careful. A lot of Coles and smart wallets are known for dumping on their copy traders. If you want a solid list of wallets to track, make sure you join my TG down below. On this other tab, you have a dedicated tracker tab if you don't want to have it on the pop-up right here. I personally never use this tab. I just use the pop-up right here. It's a lot more simpler. Then you also have a perpetuals tab on Axiom. This allows you to trade other cryptocurrencies, trading perpetuals, which is a futures market. You can trade Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, Hyperliquid, SUI, XRP, and have a whole bunch of other coins as well. So you can also be, taking scalp trades or long-term macro or short-term day trading trades on Axiom as well. It's very awesome how you can just kind of swap your Solana to stablecoin and start entering these markets without having to move it to an exchange and going through the withdrawal process and waiting for an exchange like Kraken to, deposit and credit you your money. They also have a yields platform. I haven't messed with it a lot yet. I have to do a lot more research on it, but it seems pretty simple. You can deposit USDC, get 4% APY. Now, I have a lot of trauma when it comes to crypto yields. I was a member of Celsius and CoinLoan, and both of those did go bankrupt. And I was able to withdraw all my money out of CoinLoan, and I was able to withdraw my money out of Celsius, well, some of it, until it eventually got locked. So I am a little bit more careful on yields. I'll let you guys know how that works in a future update. And then you have your portfolio, which is pretty simple. See your total P&Ls, percentages, losses, values, and then your rewards tab back to the beginning. Now, before we start getting into actual coins and how meme coins work in general and how narratives work, there's another setting right here called feature updates. These trading bots are constantly updating and giving you guys competitive features in the space. It's important to know that. For example, if you go right here on the top right, you can go to feature updates and it'll show you mega quick buy button. You now change that. That was a feature I was explaining to you guys earlier, right? You can go here and customize tables now, right? When we get into an actual coins interface and we start looking at the chart, other metrics like liquidity pool, if it was burnt and all that stuff, traders and wallets, it'll start showing you different customization things. These are important. These matter. There's also the launch a coin filter. We already saw this one. I already showed you guys what it is and if you're specifically looking for something. Now that we got that out of the way, the last part you need to understand about Axiom Pro are the fees. Once we click into a specific coin, we're going to start to see a little bit more information as well as the buy and sell options. You can see on the right, you have buy and different versions of buying. You have a market buy, you have a limit buy, you have advanced order types. You also have buys based on migration, dev sells. These are all important in the future. Right now, when you're trading, you're just going to start off doing market buys and market sells, pretty much meaning once you click it, it just executes it right then and there, the amount you want to put in, and also sell right then and there, the amount you want to put in. If you want to do a limit buy, essentially, you are going to choose the amount you want to buy in at, and also the market cap you want to buy it at. For example, let's say you don't want to buy it right now, but you want to buy it a little bit cheaper, right? But you're not on the screen. So let's say you don't want to buy it right now, but you want to buy it cheaper. You can go ahead and put in how much you want to buy, for example, 1 SOL, and then at the market cap you want to buy it at, and then once that market cap reaches that level, automatically execute it for you. Then you have the advanced buy types and order types. These allow you to buy when a coin has reached migration, or it allows you to buy when a coin has the dev selling his portion. These are all good features. I generally don't use these when I'm trenching. Market buys and market sells work good for me. If for whatever reason I have to leave in that moment and I'm bullish or bearish or I have conviction on a coin, I will be using a limit order. Now on the top above the buy and sell buttons, you'll see the volume and the buys and sells also for that general period. So you see in the 5 minute up 2%, 1 hour up 1%. When you hover over it, when you hover out of it, it'll show you the buys and sells for that current period. So if I go to 1 hour, it'll show me the buys and sells for that 1 hour. If I go to the last 5 minutes, it'll show me the buys and sells for the last 5 minutes. Now, this is a very new coin, Cat cat token. I believe it came out literally like 4 minutes ago. So you're not going to see a difference between the 5 minute, 1 hour, 6 hour, and 24 hour right now. It's all pretty much the same. Now, below that, under the buy button, you'll see your bought, sold, holding, and P&L. This is very useful when you're actually buying and selling a coin. It'll tell you how much in dollar amounts you put into that coin, how much you sold out of it, as well as how much you're still holding and your P&L. This is important. Let's say you bought $100 of a coin, but you only sold 10%, 20%, etc. It's only going to tell you how much you sold out of it and how much you have remaining. This is important when you want to decide when you're going to enter and exit certain coins. Now, under the bought, sold, holding, and P&Ls, you'll see presets. These presets are trading presets. Now, these are going to change based on what token you are trading. Normally, most of the time, you're going to have them the exact same, but these are what they are. You have slippage, priority fee, a bribe fee, MEV reduction, and auto fee beta. Now, if you're new to trading, I definitely recommend putting on the auto fee beta. It automatically adjusts priority and bribe fees based on network conditions. Pretty much, as you're trading these coins, they can become very volatile, especially at low market caps. So these fees essentially allow you to bump up your order on the blockchain so you can get filled quicker. The higher bribe fee, the higher priority fee, the quicker your transaction is going to get filled. And so if a coin is very viral and it's exploding really quick, and let's say you want to get in below 1 million market cap, and there are a bunch of buy orders being filled right now, you're going to want to go ahead and bump yours to the top so you can get filled in first. If you get filled in later, the market cap could be at $1.5 million, $2 million, thus decreasing your profit potential. Now, if you really want to have an in-depth understanding of each one, you can go to the docs page of Axiom, and they'll explain right here under Solana fees how to optimize it, right? Priority fees, speeding up your transactions, slippage limit, what's the difference between slippage, 10%, 20%, MEV. These are all very simple things. You don't really need to understand it in order to trade meme coins, but very quickly, slippage is how much less or more of a token you're willing to receive. For example, let's say you want to buy $100 of a coin, and let's say that coin is worth $1, right? You'd get 100 tokens. But if that slippage was 20%, for $100, you may be getting 80 tokens. So it's pretty much asking you how much percentage of tokens are you willing to not receive, before your order gets canceled. Now, if you have this at a really high percentage for very new coins, yes, your order will get filled, but maybe only get half the tokens you recommend. So safe balance is usually 20% slippage. Priority and bribe fee, I would pretty much just turn on auto fee beta right here. Axiom's really good and has an auto feature for you. In the future, if you're realizing your orders are not getting filled, or let's say you placed an order, but it got filled in at a higher market cap, and you see that it's very volatile and that's not the market cap you want to get in at, I would probably recommend playing and bumping these up a little bit. So you can just turn this off right here and kind of edit them. Now, this MEV reduction button right here pretty much allows you to not get MEV. MEV means maximal extractable value. What that pretty much means is there are smart bots on the blockchain that will essentially sandwich your transactions. Pretty much seeing that once your order gets pushed out and you want to buy $100 of a coin, it'll quickly buy up $200 of that coin, pushing the price of a coin up, filling your transaction, and then selling after. Pretty much sandwiching your transaction, attacking it. It's a MEV attack. What this MEV reduction button here does is it allows you to not get MEV attacked or reduce your chances. I definitely recommend you keep this on. I'd only turn this off if it was maybe a very hyped launch, an extremely hyped launch, and all you care about is getting a solid entry point and you're willing to spend money on priority and bribe. But normally you can keep this on. Now below that, you'll see the info we saw on the Pulse tab earlier, top 10 holders, dev holding percentage, snipers, insiders, bundlers, and the LP burned. This is very important. If you do not see green 100% LP burned, it is probably 99% a rug. Most of the coins that are launched on Bonk or Pump.fun or Bupa or whatever platform that's popular at the time will usually have it automatically burn when the coin is active. The only time this will not be burned if someone launches and creates a pool for the coin themselves, meaning they have to manually burn that coin. Usually this happens with celebrity coins or other big budget coins essentially. Below that, you'll see the holders, the pro traders, and the DEX paid. The DEX paid is pretty much a symbol of whether or not the team has the potential to pretty much push this coin higher. The DEX paid tab pretty much shows you whether or not the devs of these coins are serious and willing to put money behind their token. It's a very small fee for dev, of course, of $300, where once they pay it on DEX Screener, you'll pretty much go ahead and see that this is updated, right? You have a nice banner, links, etc. It doesn't show, nothing here. That's what Dex paid means. Pretty much giving it support on Dex, so it looks like a more official coin. If you don't see that on a lot of coins, it's pretty normal, but you'll know a dev is not really rugging a coin if the Dex is paid. Unless he's, unless he's putting up an operation, unless he's really trying to put some time into a coin, have it go up before he goes ahead and rugs it. But there's other factors you have to worry about at that point. But Dex paid is unpaid. Most of them are going to be unpaid. If you see it paid, it's a little bit of a green, tick in my book. Then below it, you'll see the contract address of the coin, be able to copy it, view it anywhere else, view it on a different tab, different browser. And then below it, you have their similar tokens that pretty much have the same name, likeness, etc. I don't really use this tab. It's not really going to be useful at all for me. Now, over here on the left, you'll see the chart layout. This is up to your preference. If you want to change the colors of the chart and bar, you don't really have to do this. It doesn't matter. This is up to the trader's preference. This is pretty much basic trading view stuff right here. If you haven't seen a trading view chart, this is what most charts look like. This is the 1 minute chart. Usually when you're trading meme coins that have just launched, you're going to want to be looking at the 1 second chart, the 15-second chart. This gives you more data and you'll be able to better time your entries into coins. Once we get to the entries part of the video, I'll explain more about what this means. Now on the left side of the screen, you'll see the bonding curve percentage like we saw before, the liquidity, the total supply, the price, etc. Normally most meme coins have a supply of 1 billion. That's just the standard on most of these websites like Pump.fun, Boopa, Bonk. These all pretty much have the same supplies. If they're different, it means it was launched somewhere else using a different token standard. If you don't see 1 billion as a supply, it's a good chance it was not launched using one of the token launch platforms. And just to clarify something, when I say Boop, I'm talking about Boop.fun. It's another token launching platform. Over here on Pulse, you'll go ahead and see the protocols and you'll see Boop. That's what I'm talking about. You also see the market cap up here, as well as all the other things that we saw on the Pulse tab, pretty much the exact same. So below the charting interface, you'll see the trades category. You're going to see your trades, your position, holders of the coins, the top traders, and the dev coins. Now here you'll see all the general trades of the coin. I usually like to move this up into a trade panel. It's a lot simpler for me. So I see it here, and then below I'll then look at my positions right here, as well as my orders from below. Then you have the top traders of a coin. You'll be able to see all the top traders in descending order of how much they bought, how much they sold, and their total P&L. Now, this wallet right here only made a P&L of about $24. So we're not really going to look at that or add that to the wallet tracking list at all. However, when we're at other coins that are doing extremely well, hundreds of millions of market cap or billions, and we see top traders that have aped in maybe 20K and have then took out 80K and have profited 40, 60K, we would then go ahead and see if they could sustain that, if they'd be able to go ahead and do that with other coins, or if they just got lucky. For example, this wallet has a total P&L of 849K. That's a good number I'd want to look at. So now I want to go ahead and see their other trades, how often they trade, and see where they made the most money. Now, if they just got lucky off of one coin again, I probably wouldn't add it to a wallet tracker, but if they were consistently hitting wins, they have a good strategy. I'm adding it to the wallet tracker, and I'm going to start tracking these guys. Now that we have Axiom Pro funded, you can now go ahead and change all the settings to your liking, and over time, you're going to see how that changes. Now, on to the second step, how meme coins work, narratives, hype, attention, etc. Now, when we go over to the Pulse tab, you're going to see so many ideas, so many narratives, so many things. And yes, a lot of it is NSFW. So I probably would not be streaming the Pulse tab as much as I do, but on YouTube, it is perfectly fine. But we're going to find here and see all of these certain narratives. Chill Stick, Cute, Cup Toast, Klon, Mint. These are pretty much all gambling shots. These are all tickers that are trying to make it. All these devs are pretty much trying to find the needle in the haystack of the next coin that's going to explode. Now, meme coins work off of attention and hype. It is an attention community. Now, you need to understand something. All meme coins crash and die. It just determines when that makes it a rug pull. Now, the majority of coins, I would say over 99.9% are going to crash and die within the hour, within the day. Very rarely will coins get to a week. And if they do get to a week, there are other factors and things you need to consider at that point, as well as market cap and who are the people pushing it. Now, when you're trading meme coins, you're also going to see that there may be many coins that are playing off of the same narrative, hype, or meta at that time. Also, you may see complete duplicates. These are what we call PvP, right? Or war. What happens is you'll have the same ticker, same symbol, same picture. Pretty much everything's the same. The only thing's different is the market cap, the holders, and essentially the tokenomics of the coin. Dev holding, insider holding, all of these things. And usually, whatever coin that wins the PvP war is the one that got the most trust over the influencers, over the Coles, which are key opinion leaders, or the cabal, the secret cabal that control millions in Solana that can essentially push a coin up and dump it at the same time, aka pump and dump. Now, usually when you're trading PvP, you want to be wary and careful because as soon as that winner is confirmed to the PvP, every other duplicate of that coin is going to crash. Now, another thing to keep in mind, there is another thing called alpha and beta plays. Alpha plays are essentially the top play of that chain or that time period. For example, when the base blockchain was very popular and meme coins were going on there, or the XRP blockchain, or the Tron blockchain, there was usually one ticker, one runner that dominated that space that created a bunch of beta plays. On Solana, last year, you may have heard of Chill Guy. That was an alpha play. Then you had so many beta plays. Chill Girl, Chill House. I mean, there were so many. Every so often, depending on the news, depending on popular influencers, popular news events, you will find out many alpha and beta plays on different chains that will allow you to see what makes more sense. For example, Chill Guy was an alpha play. You couldn't have found that unless you were actively trenching in the meme coin markets. By the time it got to TikTok, X, and these other platforms, you're already late. Now, yes, you can still make profits based on exchange listings and other metrics, etc. However, beta plays might be Chill Girl, Chill House. You have to assume that these beta plays will never go above the alpha plays. They will never outperform the alpha plays. That is something you need to keep in mind. So if you're seeing that a cat is exploding, or a certain dog is exploding, or a certain type of coin narrative is exploding, make sure it's not a beta play, but an alpha play. And thus, change your risk factors. A lot of meme coin narratives surround a lot of animal and dog coins. You usually see either viral dogs by popular influences, or the death of a Doge and the Doge's brother comes out. This is usually where you find a lot of alpha plays depending on the chain or depending on what's going on worldwide in the space. For example, the Trump coin, the Melania coin, all the other Trump coins, right? You had alpha Trump coin followed by beta Melania, followed by beta Baron Trump coin and all the Trump brothers and all the Trump sons. These are all other beta plays. Okay, so after trenching a bit, I found a token called New Sister. Now, when I saw this coin, it was at 80K market cap, literally right here when I found it. I'm on the 1 second chart right now. And if you don't know, Moodang was a popular cryptocurrency last year that exploded and hit a super high market cap. Now, this is Moodang's new sister, right? This would be a beta play, right? Moodang was more of an alpha play. This would be a beta play, meaning I don't expect this to outperform Moodang. However, I do think it can do extremely well. Now, that is just one side effect. If there was a PvP war, this one has clearly already beaten it by far. And we'll see right now that we have top 10 holders at 24%, insiders at 13. Okay, which means I need to be still a little bit more wary. Now, yes, the market cap is still low, which makes sense. However, I would not be surprised. So I need to start taking out my initials. I need to start taking profit. But essentially, I would have gotten it at 80K right here when I found the coin. And right now, it's currently sitting at 170K. Now, we're going to keep watching this. We're going to add it to our watch list. And we're going to go ahead and do a little bit more research and confirm whether or not this is the real one, you know, backed by the real person behind Moodang or whoever was affiliated with Moodang. But that is one of the narratives we can find. Now, other narratives may be going on X and other platforms and searching. One way I like to find meme coins is through Telegram groups. Telegram group chats. I join everyone's. I'm in like 100 different coal chats. So if I see, you know, one coal pushing out a coin, and all of a sudden I see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coals pushing out a coin, I know something was happening behind the scenes. I know they have plans to push it out. They want to make their chats look good. So they're going to obviously push out a coin they think is going to go up in the short, near-term future. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to ape a small bag. This is how meme coins work. It is simply attention and hype for short amounts of time. Normally, you see news articles generally don't last as longer as animals, right? When you saw the Luigi Mangione story, right? That only lasted as long as the news was giving Luigi Mangione a platform. Look at Moodang New Sister right now. It's currently hitting a 250K market cap right now. So far, it's looking extremely solid. We're seeing the insider holding drop. DEX is still unpaid, however. But once we see that get paid, they may even start doing boosting on Dex Screener. And then at that point, you can then head on over to Dex Screener and start analyzing it there. Now, at this point, I'd be looking at the top traders, the holders, the orders, my positions, etc. This is what I'm going to be manually looking at while I'm trenching. By the way, if you want to see me do this live, I do have a Telegram group chat that is completely for free. Or if you go on my website or down below in the link in bio, it is right here, Robles Cooks Telegram chat. And I would essentially be sending in, hey, I just saw Mudang's new sister at 80K market cap, right? I'm bidding a few SOL, right? And then I'll let you guys know. Now, the one thing to notice about meme coins is that the trends do change pretty frequently. For 1 month, we may have AI agents that are taking over and we have every single project AI based. Then for 1 month, it may be every single Bitcoin derivative or dog derivative. Or for some months, it may be celebrities, right? There's a celebrity meta going on and you want to get into every celebrity coin, right? This changes obviously with time and what's happening worldwide. For example, a few weeks ago, we had the Ashton Hall meta, right? For like a few weeks, you had Routine, you had Banana, you had Saratoga. You know, all these other coins that were essentially being launched, trying to be that needle in the haystack that are trying to blow up, and you had hundreds of different PvP runners. However, a lot of them would reach really high market caps before eventually rug pulling and people were making a killing. It is not that hard. When you get into a coin, if you have the right risk management, the right entries, you do the right rules like taking out your initials, you can make a lot of money. And that leads us to our next step, right? My strategy to find winners and enter. Now, if you've done everything properly up to this point, you are going to set yourself up for success and how to find winners. Right? You already have your filters. You already have your pulse set up. You already know what is going on. You already know the meta, the narrative, what's happening on X, right? You're involved. You're not getting into a random meta or narrative coin that has no legs to grow. You're getting in coins that have potential to grow. That is how you find winners. Now, once you find a winner, how do you actually profit from this? Right? You could find a winner and a great meta and a great token. However, it may be on a downtrend at that moment. And if you enter at the wrong times, you'll be minimizing your profit. For example, Mudang new sister. I saw it was breaking out. I saw it was exploding, but I also saw it top out at 240K. When you're looking at the chart, especially the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 1 second, you're going to see the real-time trades. You're going to see where people are getting in, getting out. What are psychological levels in this space? For example, 100K. 1 million, 500K. These are psychological levels. You have to predict when these coins are going to start dumping and getting out based on that meta, narrative, or trend. So when I saw Mudang right here, I knew this coin has potential to grow. I knew it has legs. I 100% know this could be a runner. However, getting in this moment is very risky, right? Because it could drop. And what happened? It did drop. It dropped all the way down to about 50K. Now, this is a really great entry. How do I know that? I know that because normally almost all meme coins, unless they don't have crazy attention or hype and they haven't been, let's say, building momentum for weeks before they dropped, you know, making it a hyped launch, every meme coin has a pump, a dump, and then you see what happens after based on the team. For example, every coin will launch, right? You'll get that initial liquidity. People start aping in. You'll see it peak out. Then a dip will start to form, right? Higher highs and higher lows. If it can't sustain that, the coin is inevitably going to dump. Now, at that point in the dump, you'd be able to get in a really great entry. Not only be getting in once I saw factors like dev selling, team selling, the team still pushing out the project. And the only way to see that is to be looking at the 1 minute or 1 second chart. This is the only place to really see where you're going to get your order filled in at. Now, my exit strategy. How do I leave tokens with as much profit as possible? Do I sell it all in one clip? No. And that doesn't even have to do with the chart at all. The reason I don't sell it all in one clip is because I want to avoid having to worry about slippage and MEV. The higher your clip is, or essentially how much Solana per trade, the more you're a target for MEV attacks, as well as being prone to slippage. It is much better to sell 4 orders of 5 grand than to sell 1 order of 20 grand. It also affects the chart action as well. For example, on the 5-minute chart or the 1-hour chart, depending on how much volume there is in terms of buys or sells, you can see right here, buys 28K, sells 31K, right? Net volume minus 2%. If someone were to go ahead and clip 20K, that would ultimately result in a very red large candle on this chart in relative to its price. Now, if I was to be smart, I would want to wait to unleash 20K of my token, right, over time, increasing my chances. If I were to sell all 20K now, I would effectively dump the price and thus reduce my price of token, allowing me with less profit. Versus if I waited over time, I waited for more buyers to come in, I'd be selling, right, at a price that is higher, 5K clips, pretty much allowing me to get more out of my 20K than selling it all in one clip. That is just one strategy that people need to understand. And Axiom makes it very easy. You can see right here under the sell button, market, you see amounts, right? 10, 25, 50, 100%. These are percentage amounts of your entire token holdings. You could also switch this to, I believe, Solana. Let me go ahead and do that. Yes, right here. You can also switch it to Solana. 0.01, 0.1, 1 or 10 Solana, and these can easily be changed right here. You can type in how much you want to sell. Now, percentages make the most sense when you're trading. For example, let's say you want to sell 50% of your bag or 20% of your bag. This allows you to get more profit because you're not selling everything in one clip, assuming it's a large amount. A lot of traders do this. When you're copy trading wallets from your wallet trackers, for example, let's pull it up right here. We'll go to, let's see, Cups, right? Let's see the trades he's going. Let's go check out Y, or let's check out SolPen. Let's see. For example, if we check out IMC, right? You see right here an imaginary currency unit, you could see the Cupsy orders right here. I have a 100 emoji for him because it's just easier for me to understand. However, but look, he had multiple buys and sells. Buy, 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 sell, sell, sell. This allows him to get in and out, right? Or usually they'll have one big buy order and then sell, 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 sell. You guys have to understand, nobody knows where the price is going. Nobody knows where this could go to at the end of the day. So if you're just selling all in one clip, you're not maximizing how much money you can make off of it. However, if you sell maybe 20% here and it goes up another 20%, and you sell another 50% of your bag right there, you're increasing your profit margins, which is what you want to do in this space. Now, there is a strategy that I don't recommend a lot of you guys do just due to the nature of cryptocurrencies, but if you really have conviction for a certain coin, or let's say you know this coin is essentially going to run while you fall asleep or while you take a break from the charts, I recommend leaving a moon bag, right? Anywhere from 10, 20, right, percent of your original investment to that coin and holding it over the long term. And you can set a limit order of when to sell at a certain market cap based on how high you think that meta narrative beta play can go, essentially. Now, over time, you will soon learn what's the best profit-taking strategy for you, whether or not you want to take out your initials or not. At the end of the day, I always like taking my initials out. It pretty much makes it a free trade for me. However, that initial investment is a substantial sum, right? For example, you take out your initials on a coin, right? Let's say the coin goes to 1 million, you're pretty much writing off all the profits, right? Depending on where you took out the initials. So that is up to you to decide. Now, this leads us into our last and fifth step, which is trading with others as a group. That is ultimately the best way to get as much profit as possible. When you are trenching, you are just one person looking at a screen. Now, yes, over time, you will get a better setup. You'll maybe advance from a phone, which I don't recommend using a phone, to a laptop, to a multi-monitor desk setup with 4 different screens and a MacBook or an iPad, one with deck screener, one with this stuff. Yes, it can get that way. Does it need to be that way? No. However, you will soon realize that when you trade with 1, 2, 3 other people that are scanning the trenches, that are looking at coins, that while you're looking at Gusher's coin, someone else is looking at Memecoin Fiverr, right? You guys will be able to analyze different coins and find runners a lot quickly. All the top trenchers, all the top traders, they are trenching all day in this space, spending a lot of time and energy because this is what they truly love to do, or they're trading in groups. They have other people doing research for them, and they'll hop on, they'll see a trade, they'll maybe do their own research, send in the chat, and we'll all be able to find and make profit together. That is essentially the best alpha I can give you guys. Get in a trading group, get in an alpha group. It is worth it. I've paid to be in many alpha groups myself. Even if I've been invited, I still pay the monthly fee just because I support it. However, the free ones, the paid ones, if you can't even get into a paid one right now, I recommend just getting into a bunch of free ones. I have my free Telegram chat as well, where I give my trades, my analysis. You'll be able to piggyback off of what I see and then use that to your advantage. I also have a chat channel that's included with it, so other people can go ahead and talk and send CAs. And there's bots in there. They'll actually read the CA in the chat and give you an analysis of the coin already and tell you things you don't need to look at for yourself. These are all hacks you need to be using. In the future, once you get good at it and you start making profit, I recommend you reinvest into yourself. You get in an alpha group. You pay to either join the top ones. I've been in many of the top ones, and they're great. You're on calls with 20, 30 guys. You're able to look at coins together. You're able to look at trades together. One of them usually gets insider information. Everything at the end of the day in meme coins is insider information. There's always a dev. There's always a cabal. There's always Coles pushing this. At the end of the day, how close can you get to the source? Just because you've watched this video, you've already put yourself closer to the source, because the average retail normie is not going to be doing this. They're not going to be on Pulse. They're not going to be adding filters. They're not going to be looking at meme scope and alpha chats and Telegram channels. They're just going to go and download Moonshot or Phantom, and they're going to say, look at this trending coin. Look at what he said on TikTok. And they're going to be the exit liquidity. They're going to be buying the all-time highs. They're not looking at the 1 second chart. They're not looking at the 1 minute chart. They're not seeing any of this stuff, and it decreases their competitive edge. But now that you watch this video, put it into action. Join the TG, join the chat channel, send a meme coin, look at it, get into a trade, have proper risk management, only risk 5 to 10% of your portfolio per trade in meme coins. Scalp, take your initials, learn what it is. I guarantee you the hardest part is just sitting down and getting started, and I pretty much gave you a full free guide. Go on the website, go on Axiom.trade, deposit 1 SOL and try it out, and I promise you, you'll get addicted to it. I promise you, when you start making profits, it can get really fun and addicting. In a sense, this is educated, lucky gambling. That's exactly what it is, but I love it. It's changed my life. Here on the left, you'll see, look at all these Moodangs, right? Mod Pod, Moodang new sister, Moodang sister. There's a PvP going on for Moodang. Did we find the right one? I don't know. Let's check it, bro. Let's check the market cap right now. Right? This one's currently sitting at 66K. There must be another PvP runner. This is stuff you need to take advantage of. And here's a bonus. On Axiom Pro, if you go to the left of the Pulse tab, there's a tab called Discover. Once you click on that, you have 2 sections, Deck Screener and Trending. On Trending, you're able to see other coins that are already trending on the Axiom Pro platform itself. I actually found a coin not too long ago that I made over 300% of 3x profit on. Guys, trading meme coins have changed my life, and I know it could change yours as well. I promise the small investment of time it takes to set this up is 100% worth it. I don't think meme coins are going anywhere for the near future. I do think we are just getting started. This is everything you need to increase your edge. If you want me to keep dropping videos about how to trade meme coins and get started, there are so many tools, so many functions out there. My job is to make it as easy as possible for you guys to get started, and I pretty much have everything delivered right to you. If you want to trade with me, make sure you get into that TG down below. Peace.